DJ Immortal, live in the mix.
All right, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with legendary East Coast artist, the real Mikey D. How are you doing this evening?
Oh, man, I'm maintaining. Thanks for the intro.
Hey, man, you know what? A guy like you, man, you are a very talented artist. You are a legend here on the East Coast, so every legend deserves an intro, man. So you are most certainly welcome on that one.
Well, good looking, man. I appreciate it, fam, and likewise.
So, I have to ask you this, Mikey. Rob, this is probably going to take you way, way back, but I have to ask you, what made you decide to get into the music industry?
Well, I heard a cassette tape sitting next door to my grandmother's house with my boy, my man Derek. We call him Ever-Loving Kid Ice, Little B, and my man David Moore. We were sitting on the steps listening to his box, and he played, first he played the Kumo D battle with Busy B. Blew my mind, man. And then after that, he played something from the Cold Crush Brothers. And what especially caught my interest was Grandmaster Caz, man. So it's like, after hearing Kumo D and Grandmaster Caz, and that was my first time really witnessing hip-hop. It might have been 80, 81, something like that. I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and that's what started it all.
And speaking of starting it all, at an early age, you were part of a group called the Clientele Brothers. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how it initially came to be?
Oh, the Clientele Brothers was popping. Like, when I was young, trying to close myself, we were young. We went through several groups. I was with a group called the Money Making Three. I was with the Grandmaster Three. I was with the Phenomenal Four. We had the LA Rap Masters, and this was us young doing our thing. The Clientele Brothers, Eddie O.J., Will Seville, Mr. Gene, and E.Z., these guys were a little bit older than us, and they were a more established group. So these guys were like, the Bronx had the Cold Crush, Grandmaster Flash, and the Furious Five, and all of them. Queens, we had Clientele Brothers, Rappomatical Five, the Professional Five, the Albino Twins, and stuff like that. So the Clientele Brothers was like a group that we lyrically looked up to. These dudes could not be touched. And Johnny Quest and myself got the opportunity to become a part of the Clientele Brothers. I believe Eddie O.J. was like one of the leaders of the group. He recognized Johnny and my talent young. We might have been out of the parks or maybe a basement party or something like that, putting in work. You know what I'm saying? And he invited us to one of their practices because these dudes used to rehearse and everything. Like, they were really established. And they gave us the opportunity to be the newest members of the Clientele Brothers. So for us at the time, that was huge, bro. That was huge, man. And that basically with the Clientele Brothers, that's where I really, really developed my style, because I'm like a combination of Eddie O.J. with the coolness, his swag, like the Black Signs, but he had a wordplay that was insane. And then Will Seville with the aggression and the vocabulary. So a combination of them two is what became Mikey D, man. So the Clientele Brothers, much love to them.
And also in 1988, you were signed to Sleeping Bag Records. I have to ask you, how did that iconic record deal come to be for you?
Well, it's funny because at that time, we were on a label, Johnny Quest and myself, we were on a label called Public Records, and we had like 2 singles out, I Get Rough and My Telephone and stuff like that. And somebody had mentioned that Mantronics was looking for a lead rapper or something like that. I don't know what the situation was, but my name came up in that bag. You know what I mean? In the bag that they pulled the names out of. The bag for a meeting, and I was supposed to be Mantronic's artist, but he wanted to be the exclusive producer. And at that time, we had Paul C with us. Paul, God rest his soul, R.I.P. Paul C. But Paul C was a part of our group. I was the rapper, Johnny Quest was the DJ, and Paul C was our producer. You know what I mean? So I couldn't just take the deal with Mantronics and leave Paul C and Johnny Quest behind. I just couldn't do it. So Virgil Sims asked my manager, Arthur Armstrong, at the time, if we had any product that he could take a listen to, and whatever the case may be, and we hit him with some stuff, and we wound up signing our own deal as Mikey D and the LA Posse. And then my man Bryce Wilson, he wound up getting the part with Mantronics, and we did our own thing over there on Sleeping Bag. So that's how that came about. Shout out to Mantronics.
Oh, man, and this is another one that's probably going to bring you way back, but when I read this, I knew I had to ask it. So Sleeping Bag Records actually entered you into the New Music Seminar, where in the end, you were named Best MC in the World. Can you tell us about that experience, and how did it feel knowing at such a young age you were known as the best MC in the entire globe?
Well, that's crazy. Hold on for 1 second. Let me check on my knees. Hold on. What do you want me to make? Hold on.
All right, sounds good.
You're messing up the interview.
It's all
Mikey
good, man.
D,
No
baby,
worries.
That's big boy stuff, man. Hold on. Let me get her out. Okay, come on. Go ahead. Go watch your phone. Okay, so with Sleeping Bag entering me into the New Music Seminar, Mantronics, like my reputation before the Sleeping Bag deal was as a battle rapper on the streets. You know what I mean? That was my main objective, to just be the dopest MC in my neighborhood. So I built a reputation off of battling. So I got Sleeping Bag, and Mantronics also caught wind of that too. Yo, we got this battle rapper, and we're going to try to get him over to the label. So when I signed the deal, before we came out with the single, I guess they wanted to test my skills or whatever, but they entered me into the seminar, and that's just what happened. I didn't prepare for it or nothing. And the weirdest part about that is I had a record out in '87 called I Get Rough. And at the end of the record, I said, I don't wear a lot of gold and I don't drive a car. My muscles ain't large, but my pockets are. People see me on the street and treat me just like a star. I don't even have to practice for the seminar. I said that in '87. And then in '88, I went on to be entered into the seminar. You know, I battled some of my peers, like Mr. X. He's from around the way. I battled him in the preliminary. I had to battle my man King Son. MC Search was in the battle. My man Bango from Cleveland, Ohio, he was like the last person I had to battle. He was off the chain. And there were several other rappers that I had to battle as well. But I won the seminar already. Melly Mel had won the year prior. You know, so they tried to keep the belt in their little camp. Grandmaster Kaz, Busy B, and Melly Mel. So what transpired between me and Mel wasn't supposed to even go down like that. It was supposed to be a friendly, us comparing notes and rapping together. This year's champion rocking out with last year's champion. But Melly Mel, I don't know. His cocky attitude, he turned this shit into a battle. Excuse my language. He turned it into a battle. You know, I wasn't really trying to battle him because this is one of the dudes that I looked up to. Grandmaster Kaz is another dude that I looked up to because, like I said in the beginning, he's one of the reasons why I started rapping to begin with. You know what I mean? So he was like, "You're not a real champion. If you're a real champion, we'll battle for the belts." I didn't want to do that. You know, I just wanted to bring the belt home, show off, but the crowd, you know, peer pressure, go Mikey, go Mikey. So it is what it is. I battled them, and that was that. Now, I saw a couple of interviews, you know, people saying that I snuck Melly Mel rhyme for rhyme. He could beat me, and because I dissed him, I was wrong. How you wrong? You don't battle somebody with written rhymes, you know, preaching or teaching, man. If we go into war, I'm not coming with a spoon. I'm coming with a gun. I'm gonna take your head off. You know what I mean? So that's what happened. He lost, but then he snatched both of the belts and exited the spot where it went down, and that was that, man. You know what I mean? But I was still crowned the champion. I got a new belt like 2 weeks later. And that's that. I mean, me and Melly Mel, we cool now. But back then it was, it just wasn't cool what happened.
Oh yeah, at least you guys had many, many years to kind of work things out and whatnot, man. It's good that you guys are cool after all that, though. Some artists after something that would hold grudges for years, So it's pretty cool you guys worked it all out.
No doubt, no doubt.
So, in 1991, you joined the rap group Main Source. Can you tell us a bit more about that, and how did you get hooked up with the other members?
That was 1993 that I hooked up with Main Source. After dealing with Sleeping Bag Records, we put an album together, and during the recording of the album, that's when Paul C's untimely death occurred. So there was so much going on at the time. One, we lost our producer. Two, the label wasn't showing as much interest as they were in the beginning. And I believe Def Jam was backed up by Columbia at the time, and they wanted to sue us for LA Posse name, which we were first. But legally, Sleeping Bag couldn't win in court. So we had to give the name up because of this other group. You know what I mean? So it was too much going on. I took a break for a little while. I went to Florida and chilled out, and I came back home, and then I was hanging out with my boy Mike Beasley. Mike Beasley was managing me at the time, and his cousin Bo Higgins had a studio up in Manhattan. So we'd go into Manhattan, and I would drink 40s and just be freestyling. Somebody would bang on the piano in the studio, and I'd just be freestyling. And one day, R&B singer Jeff Red, he caught a wind of me freestyling, and he was telling me that he knew of a group that needed a new lead rapper, and he thought I would, be the perfect fit for the group. So he gave me the number, he gave me the address. Next day, we called, and then we met with them. They didn't tell me what the name of the group was at the time. You know what I mean? Jeff Red, he said it was a surprise. He said, I'm not going to tell you who it is. But anyway, when we met with them, I knew who they were, by looking at them. I was like, these Main Source brothers, or whatever. So I freestyled for them, and the rest is history. That's how that happened.
And I also have to ask this, man. You, and along with Main Source, were on the Soul Train, the legendary Soul Train. I have to ask, what was that experience like, and how did you guys land that gig on Soul Train?
Oh, man, that was like one of the best experiences besides the New Music Seminar. With Soul Train, we came out with the single. We had a whole album, but the single was called What You Need Is the Source, which did pretty good. They marketed and did everything that they were supposed to do with that. And that landed us on Sleeping Bag. At the time, MC Search was the vice president of marketing over there. So I believe this is when we went over there in 93, 94. This is when California had one of the bad earthquakes. I know we went over there with canned goods and lots of water and stuff like that. And MC Search was road managing us at the time. He was also managing Nas and stuff like that. But we went over there. It was a great time, man. This was the time when Don Cornelius, I think he was going through his health issues at the time. So at that time, they had different hosts each week. But Don Cornelius was there. I got a chance to meet him and get his autograph for my mom's. And the day that we did Soul Train, John Witherspoon was the host. You know what I mean? And it was just a great experience, man. I would do that again anytime. But that was dope.
It's pretty cool though that you actually had the privilege to actually, be in the same room with the late great John Witherspoon. Man, I have to say, God rest his soul. Such a funny individual.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So you were, as you mentioned earlier, you were also part of the group Mikey D and the LA Posse. Could you tell us about how you and the Posse came to be?
Well, LA Posse, LA stood for Alton. At the time, during the 80s, a lot of people thought LA stood for Los Angeles. But if you come to Queens, you know what I mean? Like, you got the Hollis crew and stuff like that. And if you asked about Lawton, they would be like, yeah, that's LA. You know what I mean? Farmers Crew. Everybody knew LA. The reason we had to do LA Posse, that was my manager's call, because originally we were going to come out with this group named Boom Bash. Now, everybody knows, back then, everybody knew Boom Bash was legendary in the streets. It wasn't a gang, but it was a crew of brothers that took care of their neighborhood in Lawton. And, everybody lifted weights, and it was a lot of them. And I was like the voice, the rapper, you know what I mean? But like I said, they defended the neighborhood. So my manager didn't think that it was a marketable idea to roll with that name because of what was going on in the neighborhoods. So he wanted to make it a little more friendly. So, Posse meant the same thing as your crew. So we was like Laurelton Posse. It was basically the same thing, but it was more marketable at the time. And it was also, we came out in, 86 or something like that? So this was before the other LA Posse,
Yeah,
so that's how that came about.
When I was doing my research, actually, I actually thought it was you, like East Coast, Mikey D, with LA Posse, right? So I actually did not know there was two different groups there. So you learn something new every day.
Right. Yeah. Ours was completely different, man. I wish I would have known them back then. No, that would have been dope to link up.
Oh, most definitely. Form like a super group, do a completion album, would like East and the West, you know what I mean? Come together. Oh man,
yeah,
that would have been one hell of a great record.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you this, man. I read in an article online that you were the one who gave LL Cool J his stage name LL, which stands for Ladies Love. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And how did you get linked up with Cool J in the first place?
Well, Cool J and me, we used to kind of roll together. You know what I mean? We had mutual friends that wanted to introduce us to battle or whatever. We were supposed to do this battle or whatever because he was the dopest rapper in Jackson High School. I was the best one in Springfield. Those schools was rivals, and our mutual friends, whatever. They wanted us to battle. His name was Jay Ski at the time, and when we met, I thought he was dope. I was like, yeah, this dude is dope. And like before we battled, we spit rhymes for each other. Like we compared notes. You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do back then. So it's like I meet this guy. He got a bag of rhymes. He meets me. I got a bag of rhymes. You know what I'm saying? And what really impressed me about Jay was he had that same hunger and growl that I had. Like everybody in Lawson knew me from my voice and the aggression, like I said. And when I met him, it was like, he had the same growl. He wasn't a big dude then. He was tall, slim. You know what I'm saying? And after our meet, he started coming around the way a little more often. I'll go around his way, and we was just cool because I was like, damn, if there was two of us and we spitting like this, we'd be a problem. You know what I'm saying? So we started hanging together tough. And I remember when he changed his name from J Ski to Cool J. And at that time, everybody had those monarchias, like the Playboy, ever-loving lover boy, pretty boy, romantic lover, all that type of stuff. And I told Jay that. I was like, yo, Cool J sounds dope, man, but you should have something in front of it, something like the Playboy or something. And we were just, brainstorming, and I was like, how about Ladies Love? I think my man Mark Miller was around too. I was like, yo, how about Ladies Love? And then he thought about it, Ladies Love, Cool J. I guess he liked it because now he's LL, and LL stands for Ladies Love. So it was just a suggestion that he adopted, I'm not going to take credit for that, but he adopted a good suggestion.
I actually read on the internet as well that he actually gave you credit, was like, look, Mikey D actually, brought on the LL.
Yeah, like I said, it was just a suggestion, man. We were brainstorming, and it was just something, because I was thinking about all of the rest of the crew. Like, we all got these nicknames, and he definitely needed one. He was around enough. So, we stumbled across that, and he adopted it, and it worked.
Oh, man, most definitely. Now he's like a movie star or whatnot. He's on NCIS Los Angeles, which is a great show, by the way. I love that.
But yeah. And the one thing about LL that I want to clarify is a lot of people say that he bit my style, left me hanging, made it rich, and why am I not as rich as him? I just want to make this clear for the record. Like I told you in the beginning when we met, LL was already nice. He reminded me of myself. I said if there was two of us together, we would both be dope. So that means he came in nice. As far as him leaving me and all of that, he didn't leave me because he definitely wanted to pull me along when he got the Def Jam deal and all of that. He said we could be the next Run DMC. That was my option, not to go that route. You know what I'm saying? And as far as like him being rich and successful, I'm so proud of this brother. And that was always his dream. That wasn't my dream. Like, I didn't want all of that. You feel me? It's Cool J, where he is right now, is where he always dreamt of being. We didn't share the same dreams, though. So I don't understand why people think it's so difficult for me to be happy without going that route. It just amazes me. So I just wanted to clarify that so people know that this man, he owes me nothing, and he never left me. So let's stop that, because this is 30 years ago. You feel me?
Man, most definitely. I do want to say before I get into the next question that we actually have one of your friends up on the up in the chat right now. Karen B-Town Mama, she wanted to give you a shout out, so I figured I'd bring that to your attention there.
Tell I said what's good.
So I also saw a picture on your Instagram with the legendary East Coast Ice-T. How did you and Ice-T initially get connected, and what was it like actually like being around him?
Well, Ice-T, I only had 2 meetings with him. Like, we only met twice. The first time I met him was the first time Johnny Quest and I went to California to do a performance. We went with the late, great EZ, which is Craig Mack. We went down there together, and I forgot the other brother's name, one of the Wu-Tang. Hey, oh, remember? He was down with Wu-Tang. Anyway, that's the record that he had. But, so after we did the show, we went to an after party. I remember it looking like a warehouse, and it was upstairs. And I remember, I think it was Darlene at the time that came over to us and said that Ice-T wanted to meet us. So we went over to him, and, that's the first time I met Ice-T, and he was doing his thing on that side of town. And so that was cool. And then the next time I met him was at one of his birthday parties at B.B. King, and I was doing a documentary on myself, and I got the opportunity to chop it up again. So that's the picture that you saw. I believe that's from his birthday party at B.B. King. So that's how that went. I mean, we don't know each other like that. I mean, he told me a few things on our first meeting that was really interesting about one of the tapes from a 231 Park Jam. Okay. One of the tapes that I was on of the 231 Park Jam, when I had a battle, made it all the way to the West Coast, and he had his hands on that. So that's what brought me to his attention. And then, he said that really inspired him, and he started rapping. So I thought that was real cool for him to say that to me.
Oh, most definitely. I think you and Ice-T, actually, if you guys got on a track together, I think you guys would just murder the beat. I really do think you guys would do one hell of a great track.
Man, that would be an honor. Yeah, man.
So, July 20th of last year, you performed at the Springfield Park 80s Reunion. Can you tell us a bit more about that event, and what was it like actually, doing an 80s reunion? Having everybody back together after all these years.
Well, that was pretty cool. I mean, we have events like that around there all the time. Like, we have Bellow Day, which is Old Timers Day, where, people that moved out of the neighborhood come back for that third Sunday in August. We get together, basketball events, and we perform in the park. But the '80s Springfield reunion, that's different, man. My man Hardy Slice put that together, and it's dope. I think this year is going to be the 4th annual. It's in a park, Springfield Park. You know, there's barbecuing going on. There's good music performances. You know, we mix it up with, you know, the '80s guys with the new era. You know what I mean? It's mixed up. You know, there's vendors out there selling great food, selling gear, #1 draft pick. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a dope look, man, especially for the neighborhood.
And I also saw an IG from September of this past year, 2019, that you were on the Hip Hop Gods Radio Top 20 at number 2. I have to ask you, what was it like actually being noticed at like in the top 5 of the top 20 after all these years? You know, you're still making the charts.
Well, me, I just, the way that I write is timeless. You know what I mean? So it's like that right there wasn't unexpected of me. Like that's something that I expected, especially with a radio station like that definitely highlights the older artists. You know that have new music. They get that platform and the acknowledgement. So that's like right up my lane because, you know, I love what the younger generation is doing, but me, I stay in my lane. Like, it's not old, it's not new, it's just timeless. Because, you know, I don't listen to mainstream radio. If somebody says that there's a hot artist out and you got to listen to this, if I'm in creative mode and I'm writing my own stuff, I usually don't listen until I'm completed what I'm doing. So, you know, for hip-hop gods to still recognize me after all of these years is definitely a blessing, and it means that my blueprint and chemistry is still working today. You know what I mean?
Oh man, most definitely. And Mikey D, I have to ask you, what's next for you? Is there any concerts you want to let our listeners know about? Any up and coming records you want to let our listeners know about? Anything you want to tell our listeners? Anything you want to promote? This is the time.
Well, right now I'm in the cut. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on something that's going to be it's long overdue. Damn, I really don't want to let the cat out the bag too soon, but let's say May. Just listen out for the Apex, Mikey D, the Apex. This is going to be something different. It's going to be new. It's going to be classic. It's going to be a mixture of some things, you know what I mean? It's something that hip-hop definitely needs, and then after that, I'm kind of looking forward to working with my man Domingo Padilla, man, on something real dope, you know. Right now, we got a few things out. You can check out Tear the Roof Off by my man Doom the Wiz and Bad Seed. You know, shout out to Doom the Wiz and King Hans and the crew. But, yeah, we're going to be working real soon. So look out for Mikey D, the Apex, and then maybe by the summertime or November, look out for something from Michael Deering, because I need to introduce Michael Deering to the people. Everybody already knows who Mikey D is. Now they got to get to know Michael Deering, the mature me, and I got to prove that I can make hit records. You know what I mean?
Oh man, most definitely. And this is the time in the interview, Mikey D, that I just give a chance for the individual that comes on the show, just a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, and also your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and your journey if they're not already doing so.
Oh, all right, bet. Let me shout out, like I said, my man Doom the Wiz, Bad Seed, Eddie O.J., Will Seville, the Clientele Brothers, my man Mark Mills, my man Mark, the 40 Killer, my man Cal Cutter, the photographer, my man John L. Matter of fact, we're getting ready to do a video this weekend coming up. That's going to be crazy, but y'all can stay tuned for that. I got too many people to, you know, not make a whole bunch of people mad. If I miss somebody, they're going to be real mad. So I'm going to leave that short. My social media outlets is the real _ Mikey D on everything. On Facebook, you can type in Michael Deering or Mikey D. But other than that, Twitter, Instagram, and all of that is @TheReal_Mikey D. And shout out to Outlaw Radio. Can't forget y'all.
Hey, man, I want to say, Mikey, thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio Live, man. I've been a fan of yours for a very long time, so it was an utmost honor to have you on my show. Thank you so much, man. I hope you have a wonderful week, man, and I'm hoping one day we can do this again soon.
Oh, we definitely will, man. Stay in touch. Peace and blessings. And I got you covered, bro.
Hey, most definitely, Mikey. Have yourself a wonderful night, man. Thank you so much again. Have yourself a wonderful night.